Hello and welcome back. It is Thursday, January 7th, 2021, and we are here to talk about space and astronomy news. It's been a couple weeks since I took some time off for the holidays, so I'm really excited to be back and share some news with y'all. Yesterday, SpaceX completed a static test fire for their Starship SN9 test flight. This is planned to happen probably this weekend, and it's basically going to be a repeat of the SN8 test flight that was almost entirely successful until that very explosive landing that we saw. So hopefully the SN9 will actually nail that landing. So yeah, it's going to be going up to 12,500 kilometers hopefully, and doing the belly flop again, coming back down and landing. Also, Elon Musk said on Twitter that his plan for landing the Starship is actually going to include a arm on the launch tower that's going to basically grab the heavy booster and help dissipate some of that landing force, which is really crazy, and we'll see how that goes. But they're not planning to test it out on SN9, but that's in the future for Starship. Speaking of SpaceX, their first Falcon 9 launch of 2021 is planned for tonight, where they're going to launch 2 Turkish ComSats into orbit. This weather is about 60% favorable tonight, and the backup is tomorrow night when it's 80% favorable. So looking at a Falcon 9 launch this week. Also, 2 DARPA satellites that were supposed to be launched on January 14th, so a week from now, as part of a rideshare Falcon 9 launch, were damaged at the SpaceX launch processing facility. And so SpaceX is working with the government to resolve exactly what happened and what the path forward for that is going to be. Speaking of going to space, Virgin Orbit is hoping to reach space for the first time this weekend or next week. The Virgin Orbit Launch Demo 1 was unfortunately not successful in making it to space, but now they have Launch Demo 2 planned, and the launch window opens this Sunday, January 10th. One of the really cool things about the Virgin Orbit launching system is that it's not a vertical takeoff from the ground. They actually use a special Boeing 747 jet called Cosmic Girl that takes the rocket up to about 35,000 feet, and then the 2-stage launcher 1 goes up into space from there, which is a really cool way of doing it. Launch Demo 2 actually has a payload, unlike Launch Demo 1, and they're hoping to get 10 small CubeSats into space on this launch. So good luck to Virgin Orbit. Speaking of satellites, everybody's favorite James Webb Space Telescope completed a really important test at the end of December. So this was a test of the sun shield, which is basically a large, thin shield that protects the telescope from the sun and divides it into a cold side and a warm side. So this test was basically on the unfolding and tensioning of the sun shield and making sure that that worked, and it went off correctly. The test was passed, and this is really important, one of the final tests for getting JWST ready to launch, and it is scheduled to launch this Halloween in 2021, and so this is a really good sign that they are actually on track for this launch, knock on wood. Astronomers have pinpointed the distance to the most far away galaxy and oldest galaxy we've ever observed, which is really crazy. This basically kind of marks the limits of the observable universe. The galaxy is called GNZ11, and it was known that it was very far away, but at those sorts of distances, it can be very difficult to measure the exact distance, and so the exact distance wasn't very well known. So this new measurement basically improved the accuracy of the distance measurement by a factor of 100, which was able to more exactly pinpoint the value of its redshift, or Z, which is what we use to measure these very large distance scales in the universe, and confirmed that this was in fact the furthest galaxy we've ever detected. Speaking of the universe, a very important measurement of its age and therefore its expansion was done using the Atacama Cosmology telescope in Chile. Basically, by observing the cosmic microwave background, which just like it sounds like is a background that emits in the microwaves in all directions, they can use that to estimate basically the age of the universe and the expansion of the universe on very large scales and very distant scales. This has previously been done for the CMB by a space-based satellite called Planck, and Planck had come to a value of the Hubble expansion, which was actually in tension with the value that we get from more local measurements using things like Type 1a supernovae. So the value that the ACT found now is, one, the first time that the Planck value has been independently confirmed, and their value is consistent with the Planck value, which means that these values that we're getting from the CMB seem to be accurate in the sense that they're repeatable with independent experiments. But they're still in tension with these local measurements, which could really indicate that there's something going on that we don't fully understand, which is a really exciting opportunity to learn more about the universe and learn some new physics, hopefully. So hopefully there will be a lot of awesome space and astronomy happening in 2021, and I'll be here to tell you about it all. So tune in next week, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.